All right, everybody, welcome to the official One Piece card game show. My name is Max. I'm a bilingual voice actor and MC here in Tokyo, and I am being taught how to play this game like our resident expert. Here is our resident expert, Gavin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gavin, official ambassador and commentator for the Japanese and English version of the One Piece card game. And today, what do we have for it?
Yeah, Sensei, today is part 2 of our Learn Together deck set series. I got to say, Gavin, after our last match, I feel like I'm ready to get on the high seas and qualify for the World Championships with my main man, Zoro.
Possibly less cheese.
Too cheesy.
Possibly less cheese. But no, I definitely think Zoro is a great leader. And if you're gonna want to, play in some tournaments, play at some locals, we're gonna have to strengthen your deck up a little bit.
We are? Okay, all right.
Okay.
We are definitely going to have to strengthen this deck up if I'm going to have any chance.
Yes. So let's get started figuring out how to strengthen a One Piece deck or just build a deck in general. So here we're gonna, talk about the basic steps on how to build not just Zoro, although that will be what we're going to be using for this video, but any deck in general.
All right.
So first things first is you do need to pick a leader. So what leader should we pick?
Zoro!
Oh my God, who would have known? We picked Zoro!
Thought you said less cheese. All right. Anyway.
So each leader, of course, has different colors and a different leader ability. And both of those are going to be very important when you're thinking about how you want to build your leader. Your leader is like your captain, and the deck is the ship and crew that are going to support it.
All right, and if you have a solid deck crew on your ship, if you're at sea, the pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet is?
C? Not
R.
R.
But his true love is the C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at our Zoro. Zoro is a green leader, which means?
That he uses green cards.
Exactly. So one of the core rules of the One Piece card game is you can only use colors that match your leader.
Right.
So Zoro is green, so you can only use green cards.
Right, but there are 2 color leaders.
Yes.
Okay, doesn't that give them an unfair advantage?
You would think so, but you know how Zoro has 5 life? Most 2 color leaders generally can only have 4 life or possibly 3 life. Or some other demerit like reduced power. So rather than 5,000, they're at 4,000.
Okay, that's crafty. All right, so green cards only. Got it.
So now that we know our leader's colors, we have to think about our leader's ability. If all leader abilities were the same, any character could be the same, deck, green would be all that matters.
Sure.
So for Zoro, we have Dawn times 3, activate main once per turn. If this leader battles your opponent's characters during this turn, set this leader as active. And then you can't attack characters with a cost of 7 or less during this turn.
Right. So I knew about the ability from playing it before, but why does it matter when you're making a deck? How does that come into the strategy?
So like we said before, the captain is, our leader, but we need support to make our captain shine. So Zoro has a very strong leader ability that generally wants to do 2 things. 1, you need to get 3 Dawn on your leader, because without that, you don't have any text.
Right.
So being able to, use your leader ability, generally good when, thinking up a deck. And next, we want to attack characters. You did it a lot last game, but attacking a character and then standing up and attacking again is kind of what our leader wants to do. So we want cards that help support that game plan.
All right.
So any cards that you can think of that help achieve that game plan.
And Tashigi was quite good at that.
Yes.
Yes.
Tashigi is definitely the poster child for great cards in a Zoro deck. But what about anything else?
So, I remember when I used Cavendish, it was working pretty well.
Great example. Cavendish, of course, another one that's going to be able to get you Dawn, not just on the turn it's played, but turns after it as well. So let's start out with what I like to think of as our core cards. The cards that are going to help our leader function. So we've got Zoro over here, and we started off, of course, with our Tashigis, and let's add some Cavendishes. So here are going to be our core cards, but 8 is not a lot in a 50-card deck. So we're going to want a little bit more. So I brought some from my own collection. 2 other great core cards for Zoro are going to be Mihawk and Quina. And the reason why these are so good is because Tashigi and Cavendish we've talked about, but Mihawk has a similar effect. So when you play him down, you get 4 Dawn active. So you get a big body, as well as getting 4 Dawn to use for your leader ability. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. And next we also have Quina, which is very similar to Tashigi. So Tashigi is on play, but Quina, you can use her every single turn. So when you rest her, you get 3 rested Dawn attached to your leader, and you rest a 4-cost or less character.
So Quina and Tashigi are similar. I've never noticed
You
that
never know,
before.
right? Who knew? Who knew? They look similar.
All right.
They kind of have vibes that are similar. They do similar things.
I'm following.
Okay. Another thing that I think you might remember from our last game is
Yeah.
this event.
That was
Luffy is the man who will
very,
become
very good.
the Pirate King. So we're already attaching a lot of Dawn to our leader, right?
Yeah.
Which means the more times our leader can attack, the better we're doing, right? Of course, also going to be a great event. So these are what I consider our core cards. The more times we draw these, the more times we're going to win in general. Next up, how do we get to draw these core cards all the time?
I remember that Hiyori has the ability to look at like 5 cards of
Exactly.
your deck, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hiyori. Hiyori and other cards like it are generally called searchers
Searchers.
because they search for the good cards in your deck. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So Zoro also has another type of searcher called Perona. So why don't you take a look at that and read it for me?
Sure thing. Perona, Ghost Princess. On play, if your leader has the / attribute, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 / attribute card or green event, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And in any order means that you can actually shift them around so that you're more likely to get something
Exactly.
if you get to the bottom of
Yeah,
your deck.
so depending on the deck, you can sometimes go through 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But Hiyori and Perona are kind of the general searchers of the Zoro deck, but usually every deck has searchers to make it more consistent.
Okay.
So for this deck, it's going to be Perona and Hiyori, and it focuses on that / attribute. Normally, most decks focus on a type rather than an attribute. So if you look at Zoro right now, almost everything is /, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of our theme for the deck. Whereas if you're playing Luffy, for example, you'll use Nami Searcher, which searches for,
I'm guessing.
Take a guess.
Straw Hats that just attacks.
Straw Hats.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Straw Hats.
Bonnie searches for supernovas. Izo searches for Whitebeard pirates. No matter what your deck you're making, after you find your core cards, figure out if there's something that's the same about them. So if you're making a Whitebeard deck and you know, oh, I have a lot of Whitebeard pirates, I should get something that searches Whitebeard pirates. For any type of deck, the same thing works. There's usually a searcher for most types, and if there isn't one yet, it's probably coming in the future, knowing how this card game works. So now that we've got our searchers done and we've got that figured out, next we want to figure out our defenses.
Right. I was not good at this just in general. I was more focused on attack in the last game that we played. So, definition of a rookie mistake, I suppose, right?
Yes.
So, with our defenses, we have counters and blockers,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So, who do we have for those?
So take a look right now, and Mihawk is a blocker, so that's something. But I think you'll notice a significant lack of counter.
Yes, there is only counter, 1,000 with Kuina and Hiyori.
Yes,
Oh, sorry, and I missed Cavendish as well.
as well as
Well, and Perona.
but we don't have any 2,000 counter.
Right.
And we also have 3 different cards that have no counter at all.
Yeah.
So not a lot.
More counters.
Yeah, more counter sounds good, right?
Okay.
So in general, I like to balance out my deck with about as many 2K counters as I have of non-counters. So that would immediately mean we want 2K counters back. So let's just say 12. 12 is usually a good round number. It can change depending on what you're playing. For example, if you're playing a super aggressive deck, you might want less counter. And if you're playing a super defensive counter, you might want more. But just for now, we already had 12 2K counters in the last deck, so let's put them back. So we got Kawamatsu, Kozaburo, and Neko Mamushi. So we're starting to get a good deck, right?
Yeah.
We got, how many cards right now? We have 40.
Sorry, we're at 40.
Okay, so once we get to this part, we're just kind of trying to figure out what are the last slots that we want to fill. So Zoro, in general, is a very aggressive deck. So you might want ways to rest more things. There are events that do that. You might want, for example, Koshiro, I think you saw him in the last deck. He's a great tool because not only is he a blocker, but he can also prevent your cards from getting KO'd. And we want Cavendish and Mihawk to stay around for a while, so Koshiro I think is just a great addition. And now for our last 6 cards, I think it's a lot based, just on what you feel like. Maybe you feel like people at your local event are playing a lot of aggro, so you want to place more blockers. Maybe they're playing a lot of control or a lot of blockers themselves, so you want to play more resting events. So I got some examples here, but there are tons of different options you have. First is Demon Aura 9-sword style Silver Blade's Drown Dead Man's Game. The greatest tongue twister in the One Piece card game. It's a great card where you can rest 3 Dawn along with its normal 1 cost to rest 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. And you can mix and match. So you can do 1 character and 1 Dawn. So it's great for attacking, and it also has a counter event on it.
Okay.
Where you can add 3,000 to your leader. So it's a very flexible card where it can go either way. That being said, it does have no counter, so you might want to add more 2Ks. For example, this is a blocker and a 2K counter if you're feeling more defensive. If you end up going like, for example, this was in the starter deck, but Smoker is another attacker that you could use. So it has Banish and also is able to put Dawn back active, and it has that slash, so it is searchable. Or, I personally am a more defensive player in general, so rather than Smoker, I might play a 0-cost event. Being able to get rid of one of your counterless cards and make it into counter. And here we have.
All right, so this is it.
Yeah.
This is all 50. That is an impressive lineup, and it's wonderful to get into your head a little bit and like see how the gears are working and how their strategy is formed. So that's how you build a tournament-worthy deck, huh?
Yeah, I mean, now all you have to do is just practice your deck, and remember, no deck is perfect. Even if it was perfect for the day, I mean, people will start thinking about how you're playing or thinking about your deck and might change their decks. So play it a lot. Figure out, I like this card. I don't like this card that much. And change it up to fix your own style, because everyone can play very differently in a One Piece card game. And that's one of the things that makes it so much fun, is just always being able to tinker with your deck to make the perfect list for you.
All right, well, I cannot wait to try this out for myself, and maybe we'll see some of our viewers at a tournament somewhere. I actually just did get back from the US and stopped by a few places that they were playing the One Piece card game, and I just kind of took a peek in, didn't say anything, but it's nice to know that it's actually being played by real people all around the world.
For sure.
Fantastic, and they're like, give us more. So yeah. And that's gonna do it for this, the Learn Together deck set featuring Luffy, Nami, and Zoro releases October 3rd, 2025. It's the perfect item to learn how to play or teach a friend and invite them to your One Piece card game crew. For news and information, be sure to check out the official website and X for everything involving the One Piece card game. That does it for us, but we'll see you real new supernovas out on the Grand Line. See you next time.
Bye, guys.